Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of South Park, Bored Girls, and I didn't really like this episode. Mainly because the B-plot of actually like the board games and everything, I thought would have made a better episode in its own right, and everything that kind of pertained to it was really shortened down and truncated to just pretty much bits in between the lackluster A storyline of Strong Woman entering a Strong Woman competition and being beaten by essentially a parody of Macho Man Randy Savage. I didn't think I'd be saying anything like that sentence, but here we are. So, the bulk starts off in that I thought Tegrity Farms was annoying. Oh, they decided to keep that going with instead shifting it to the PC Babies thing. And I'm just like, wow, I didn't really care that much about the PC Babies, and putting them as the kind of thing to open up the show. Yeah, this is definitely not my favorite season of South Park. I don't mind experimentation, but this really isn't working for me. Because we get in, we see Strong Woman's pretty much training for a competition and everything. They have to run in because Disney Plus had put on Mulan, and that was upsetting the PC Babies. Ooh. And it's really kind of like the laziest kind of dig at Disney Plus at the moment. It's just kind of surface in there, and South Park's usually better than that. Usually they dig into something and have a really funny-ass thing to go for it, and that was just like, okay, here we go. So they pretty much go off, and we see that she's been interviewed by this TV person, and that Heather Swanson has joined in because evidently 2 weeks ago she had identified as a woman, and it's the Macho Man Randy Savage parody. He goes through and pretty much beats the whole fucking thing and takes the competition. There's like a montage of him doing stuff and Strong Woman doing her shit, and it's just really not that interesting. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. Can we kind of move this along? And it just keeps kind of going from there. Him taking on like the MMA stuff, gloating about everything with winning, going to Strong Woman's house, and gloating in front of the kids. And we see PC Principal kind of being like, hey, you're kind of being an asshole pretty much. But seeing him kind of try and grapple with that was interesting. But again, nothing is really delivered on it. It's very much trying to keep the kind of status quo of the weird kind of PC Principal kind of dude, in that we want him to be kind of the butt of jokes, but yet we're going to try and tease that he's got some kind of character development, because it's like, okay, yeah, he doesn't want to be seen as a transphobe, but we kind of learn later on that the dude is Strong Woman's ex and is pretty much trying to destroy her life by doing this shit. That's it. So we see that PC Principal eventually goes and tries to confront him during a TV thing and pushes Heather Swanson and does an exaggerated wrestler fall onto a table to make him look like a transphobe and an asshole. So they decide to kind of invite Heather Swanson to the school to kind of make up for it, and that's where it kind of intersects with the whole D&D thing. We do get some interesting parts where we see Cartman and them doing their stuff with D&D. Mackie's like, hey, these two girls kind of want to join, and they come in and kind of destroy Cartman's rule over what's going on. He's an asshole, so he likes to control things, so of course he's the DM. And of course we see Better's like, hey, I want to kick that thing in the balls. It's like, I don't know if it's got balls, and then trying to figure out what's going on. But see, the thing is, the girls already have character sheets and everything and know the game. The thing is, Cartman wants to rule through his like power and intimidation and have his power control trip, but these girls pretty much destroy that. The thing is, that would have been an far more interesting episode to explore than what we got, as it's truncated down to Cartman's trying everything to get these girls out. They are very interested in board games and everything, so it's kind of like truncated to the point of like, yeah, they pretty much know everything about the board games, which infuriates Cartman and Butters and Scott into trying to do their own kind of thing. They go to Mr. Mackey like, hey, they're not making it fun anymore. It's like, they're better at the board games than you have been beaten at, and have been beating you at them, right? And Scott's like, yeah, and he's like, no. And it's funny because one of the great lines through it is like, Butters like, hey, they killed the DM. I didn't think you could kill the DM. And Cartman's still trying to keep his control there, being like, no, you can't kill the DM. It's like, again. That would have been a vastly more interesting story to kind of like dig into, but of course we just get pretty much bits throughout of Cartman complaining about this, and the girls just kind of like whooping their ass because they're actually into the game and actually into the rules and actually trying to win. Granted, I understand the themes, but the thing is, Cartman probably rules through people not knowing the rules and making up his own rules so that way he wins, not having a fair playing field. That's usually Cartman's MO. So I've got no problem with that. I just would have liked to see more of that going on than the whole strong woman thing. So we get a thing which I think is pretty much kind of their dig at the impeachment hearings going on, where they're like talking to, I'm guessing, some kind of congressional oversight to pretty much get the Boys and Girls Club separated. Which, of course, completely fucks over Cartman and the other guys because they go and they see the board girls thing going on. They've got all these board games. They fucking review shit on their channel. They get games that are new, like not even out, because they review them on the channel, and it just looks boss-ass everything. And it's funny because they're like, hey, Cartman, isn't this what you wanted to do? Mac is, of course, like, hey, you got to get out. It's like, what are those rules? Who made up those rules? I'm like, fuck you, Cartman. So that is when everything kind of intersects. We see that they have Heather Swanson brought to the school as an example of strong female leadership, still being an asshole, comes out like a wrestler, Macho Man Randy Savage, saying, twerking his ass and then ripping off his pants to show a banana hammock. I'm like, that ain't, no, that's fucking freaky, man. And of course, he's pretty much shitting all over everyone. And then, of course, the leader of the girls who were brought into the whole club situation is like, hey, yeah, I can beat you at like these board games. Like, fine, let's do this. And then they completely annihilate Heather Swanson in pretty much every board game. And he's like, oh, it's about the themes and everything, pretty much paralleling Heather Swanson and Cartman as they do their thing to go off and do their own kind of club thing. And that's where it ends. As the girls are celebrating and not giving a crap. Well, that part ends, but then we also see that Strong Women brings PC Principal back and the babies don't care about what was going on because evidently they're growing up and they can understand the nuance of a weird, crazy ex-boyfriend identifying as a female to enter into women's competitions to beat his ex-girlfriend. Yep. I understand trying to try out different things and see if different scenarios work, but this was just, you didn't really see the heart of the South Park creators in this. They've usually been much better at weaving everything throughout. This just seemed like they were having ideas about certain things, didn't fully develop them to make a story, and decided to take two concepts that you could have explored in separate episodes to better effect with even better jokes, and just mishmashed them together, even though they kind of barely had the best case scenario of connective tissue going on. It just, I just don't look forward to seeing any more of the PC babies and everything going on, because I'm like, I got it the first time. I really just, if you've got something different and new to go with them, sure. But this, I'm just like, the whole basic conceit of Strong Woman's thing was just doing a Macho Man Randy Savage parody, and I'm like, okay, you could have went a lot of different places with this if it had been taken up the whole time and actually kind of went through it. And definitely more so with the whole board game thing. That one definitely had the nice potential to just really go ham, South Park style, eventually probably culminating in a boys versus girls thing where you see Cartman pretty much in his own castle, kind of similar to like the Stick of Truth, fighting the girls in some giant epic battle going on throughout the town as they're marshaling their forces to see who is the better at board games and strategy. That would have been fucking cool. But that is not what we have gotten. So, it just, I just didn't like this episode, and I think this season's going to end for me more as like a whimper than a bang or anything. But we'll see. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.